Hello everyone and welcome back to the Operation Persian Freedom campaign for the A-10C II in DCS World, and welcome to Mission 9, Halil Valley Part 2, because we are picking up here about a couple of minutes after we left off the last one. Our plane's just been refueled and rearmed, and we're to report right back to where we were for continued tasking in the same day, same combat area. Only difference this time is we have a lot lighter of a loadout. We've got 2 GBU-12, those are laser-guided bombs, 2 Mark 82 dumbfire bombs, and 2 AGM-65D IR Mavericks. So less of a loadout, but still plenty of enemies, so let's jump right in.
Whiplash, Gunman 2-1, rearmed and refueled and inbound on Marshall. Be advised, loadout is limited to GBU-12, 2 times AGM-65, 9 bombs, and I weren't that well equipped.
Copy, Gunman 2-1, welcome back. Let me get you the sit rep. We have forces advancing north of Baseline Orange along Route Australia. Forces on Belgium are holding at Orange. Currently we have Texan going around Objective Alpha. That SC6 is causing an issue, so all our air is currently stacked south of Baseline Orange. I'm finally got a siege strike release to deal with it. I want you to proceed to Marshall and hold at Angels 13 until the strike is complete.
Copy, Whiplash. Hold Marshall, Angels 13.
All flights, this is Whiplash. SA6 is down. Gunman 2-1, new tasking. Proceed to Objective Alpha. We locate an Iranian command post on the outskirts of the town. Time to shut them down. Husky 1-3 is VAC A. Push to 269.6.
269.6, Gunman 2-1. Husky 1-3, Gunman 2-1, 1A-10, equipped with ADM-65, GBU-12 and Mark 82. Where do you want me?
Gunman 2-1, Husky 1-3. We're coordinating an attack on that command post, alongside strikes on fortified positions around Alpha. I want you to work with Hawk 4 and target the CP. Once the CP is offline, the rest of the air is going to roll in on the positions at Alpha. Hawk 4, you still on freak?
Roll 4.
Okay, Gunman 2-1, Hawk 4 is targeting the command truck. I want you to hit the command APC. We need to hit both together to stop him from bugging out on us. Type 2 control is in effect. Stand by for 9 line. 40 Romeo, Echo Sierra, 82015, 42949, heading 360. 5 miles. 1,936 feet MSL. 1 BRDM. 40 Romeo, Echo Sierra, 81705, 51518. No mark. Friendlies, east 1 mile. Egress west.
1936, target 40 Romeo, Echo Sierra, 81705, 51518. Friendlies, 1 mile east.
Read that correct. Caution, man-pass sighted in target area. Gunman 2-1, get yourself set. Contact me when ready to start your attack.
So the JTAT's coordinates are right smack on this target, so I don't need to look at all for it, just find it very, very easily. And so radio in that I have arrived at the IP.
Husky 1-3, Gunman 2-1 ready.
Hawk 4, commence your attack. Gunman 2-1, I want you ready to hit the IP as soon as Hawk 4 releases.
Gunman 2-1.
Hawk 4, tele-target.
Hawk 4 cleared high.
So this part is a bit awkward, and I did mess this up at my first attempt at the mission, partially because I had the IP coordinates entered wrong, and so it wouldn't give me permission to engage. Either way, trying to time this is quite awkward, especially because according to the game, we're supposed to go in as soon as the other one pickles, but it doesn't let you go in until a few seconds after that. So eventually it does pop up, and I do get the option to call it in.
Command 2-1, tally on target, ready to fire.
Gunman 2-1, clear hot.
But then, now that I've got permission, I just roll in, already got the target all lined up and ready, weapon selected. I've decided to go for a GBE12 on this one. I want it to be accurate so that the first shot hits, because we're trying to do a coordinated attack. But don't really feel this calls for a Maverick to need to be fired, so laser guide bomb do just fine. Have it lined up, release at the CCRP mark, and pickle. And just gently turn away to the west as instructed, and doesn't take long before bomb comes in and shack target.
Command 2-1, target destroyed.
Copy, Gunman 2-1, confirmed. Good kill. Gunman 2-1, clear the area. I have more strikes inbound on Alpha. Push back to Whiplash. Husky 1-3 out.
Whiplash, Command 2-1 available for further tasking.
Gunman 2-1, I want you to support the Persian Australia. Our forces are almost ready to move on Charlie. Get over there and make contact with the ground force on 36.4. Call sign Arrow 3.
Arrow 3, 36.4, Command 2-1. Arrow 3, Gunman 2-1, single A-10 ready to support.
Alright, Gunman 2-1, good to have a hog overhead.
What do you need, Arrow 3?
Column is about to secure objective Charlie, pushing a red south, transiting route Egypt to red north. As we moved on Charlie, we saw two D-72s pull back into the city, no doubt setting a nice surprise for us. I need you to locate those tanks, report back when you see them.
Wilco, Arrow 3.
So head over towards the city, you can approach it nice and close now the SA-6 is down, and then just using the knee boards, which already has all of the various roads marked out, and using the ground troops current position, which is marked on the data link. I look along the road, assuming the T-72 is going to be somewhere around there, and sure enough, as I look up, I see one of them waiting just opposite this junction here, and so mark that on for now and start hunting the other. At first I can't get sight of the other one, but figure it's probably just hiding behind a building, and indeed that's right. I fly around to the south a little bit more and see in the same intersection the second tank just on the other side of the crossroads, and so call it in.
Arrow 3, Gunman 2-1, tally on two T-72s north and south of the intersection of Egypt and Japan. They're out in the open, we can hit them without risk of collateral damage.
Copy, Gunman 2-1, good work. I'm granting you Type 3 control. You are cleared hot to kill those tanks.
So I figure the tanks aren't moving right now, and they're not going to move until I fire at least, and so I figure second laser guide bomb's probably really good for this. That way I save a Maverick and I can follow up the Maverick on the second. Just turn in, line up with the CCRP delivery and release.
Pull up.
And make sure to keep the target in the reticule as I fly over, continuously lasing, and really nice direct hit. And then immediately go and start hunting down where the other tank is. So although I located the tank quite quickly, having already known where it was and it didn't particularly move when the tank opposite it exploded, I did make a mistake in that I had not actually turned on my Mavericks, and the Mavericks do take a few minutes to warm up, or cool down rather, and so I did just have to orbit for a little bit, but there was no real time pressure here. The friendly convoy was staying exactly where it was, and so eventually the Mavericks warmed up, turned into target, Nice job just switching over to get the Maverick lock and then rifle. And then after a few seconds of flight time, get a nice shack, and so can just call that in as mission complete.
Arrow 3, both targets destroyed.
Command 2-1, rolling.
Let me just spend a little while giving them a bird's eye view, watching them trundle on their way as we get occasional call-outs to reinforce where they are, just in case we've lost track of them.
Command 2-1, we're switching to route Mozambique and pushing red north. Crossing Nigeria and pushing north.
So for the most part it's nice and quiet, and just watching all of the side roads, making sure there are no ambushes waiting for them. And just when it's starting to get peaceful, they're nearly through the city, look over to the side and see a bright flash. There has been an explosion, and so now things enter a more dangerous state.
Command 2-1, we've been hit by an IED. Column is stalled and we're taking heavy fire from the buildings to the north. Repeat, taking heavy fire from them.
Arrow 3? Arrow 3, do you copy? Ah, crap. Whiplash, Gunman 2-1.
Command 2-1, go.
We have an urgent troops in contact, red north. JTAC is offline, suspected KIA. They can't wait, Whiplash. Request authorization to engage without JTAC control.
Command 2-1, you are cleared to engage if friend is in imminent danger. Your call, Command 2-1. I will divert other assets as soon as available. Remember, you are in an urban environment. There is a very high risk of collateral damage. Only engage if there is imminent and close threat to our troops.
Copy, 2-1 out.
Now, unusually for me, on this bit I am actually taking the collateral damage threat seriously. I do have a lot of bombs and munitions still on me, but just the sheer amount of civilian buildings means I don't really want to drop anything unless I really have to. And so I do just start looking out for major threats. And one thing that I do spot quite quickly is there is this truck nearby, and zooming in, it does seem to have AAA on the back. That's a danger to me and to the ground troops, so I decide that this is going to be the target for my remaining Maverick. So I want this thing taken out as quickly as possible, so turn in immediately, end up in quite a steep dive, but do get the Maverick lock, just zoom in, verify that I have locked the correct target, and then rifle. And then immediately start pulling away, not sure if there's any man pads in the area. And then I just try and pull away, scout around a little bit with the targeting pod, briefly lose sight, but as the pod comes back into focus I can see that I have hit directly on the target, taken out the AAA. Turns out in the BDA I also got a load of infantry around it, so that is that AAA threat down at least. As I scout around, a lot of those initial groups that you saw me looking at when the engagement started, a lot of them have already been cleaned up by the ground troops. There's still definitely some fighting going on, but I definitely don't want to go in with a bomb or anything on just a single odd troop here and there. Especially with how I am with dumbfire bombs, probably just going to go hit an apartment complex. So I'm looking for major threats, and one thing that I do eventually see is a large group of infantry running across. So these would probably make a good target, but before I can turn in, they get absolutely torn apart by the Humvees. They were just crossing open ground and just got ripped to pieces, so no longer a major threat to our troops then, and I continue. So while scouting around I do spot this guy, and it does seem that he has some kind of AT gun on his shoulder. Don't know if it's an RPG or some kind of proper anti-tank weapon. Either way, he is a high priority threat, so I turn in for him. And I give a couple of bursts and then pull away since I'm still nervous of man-pads. Unfortunately, the shots hit all around him, but nothing hits him. He survives. So I roll around, go back in, this time making a much lower pass. I am flaring as I do, but this does put me at risk, but I'm pretty happy that I didn't see any launches the first time. And pull away and climb, and again not seeing any launches here. So at this point at least I'm quite happy that there are no man-pad threats in the area. So in the last pass I did pull up too hard and my targeting pod has entered gimbal roll. It will reset itself, but it just takes a little time to find itself again. So it for now is offline, but as I'm looking out the window I do see tracer fire, and that leads me to notice there is a large group of enemy vehicles moving along the road straight towards the friendly column. So I turn in and try and dive in. My first shots are really too far out of range here, and I also just don't lead the targets enough. These are moving targets, really have to account for that. But as we get a little bit closer I do manage to score some actually decent hits, and as then I come away I can see there's only one surviving vehicle, and so pull away ready for the next one. Now, I am nervous that these look like transport trucks, so I'm nervous if they manage to stop and unload, they might deploy a huge number of infantry, which will just overwhelm the position. So I make a really hard bank to come back around on the remaining vehicle, and then come in and do manage to knock it out with 2 bursts. So there we go, that is that infantry attack managed to be cleared up quite nicely. Now, as I'm pulling away there, you might have seen green tracer fire coming from the other side of the city, and this is actually really lucky for me. What this does is draw me to knowing there is something in that area, and so I pull around, come in to investigate, see what that is. And because I'm searching for targets in that area, I see that here there is a vehicle beelining at top speed across the open ground, heading straight for our column. Probably wouldn't have seen this until it was too late if it hadn't tried to engage me, so luckiest I've ever felt being shot at.
We will actually the ground forces are taking a real beating over here. We need additional support.
Negative, Gunman 2-1, all areas tied up right now. You got the next available assets heading your way.
So here I can see it's some kind of IFV, so again really want to take it out. I do put a lot of rounds on target and do get a nice flame, so come away feeling very happy there that I managed to stop that before it did too much damage. Things definitely quietened down after that double little attack there from both sides. I just hunt around with my TGP trying to get eyes on some decent target. The area just has a lot of dead bodies, a lot of dead vehicles. At least some of the friendlies are still alive, so happy with that. And do manage to pick out a single enemy soldier, and so decide that, well, may as well go in. Still got a few hundred rounds left, may as well take him out in case he gets a lucky shot. So head in and pull the trigger.
Pull up, pull up.
And nicely enough take him out, and that seems to trigger the end of this section, and the game moves on, lets me call it in.
Gunman 2-1, Husky 1-3 is inbound with the flight of Hornets to relieve you. Make contact with Husky now. We flash out.
Husky 1-3, Gunman 2-1.
Sit rep, Gunman 2-1.
We have a column of vehicles trapped and under fire. Location, red north of Mozambique, 1 junction south of Qatar.
I'm visual. What activity have you seen?
Initial attack was an IED, with those taking fire from the buildings to the north and west. Stay sharp for vehicles as well, Husky 1-3. We've seen a lot of trucks and 1 APC moving into the area as well.
Copy all, Gunman 2-1. I've got this now. Done well, Gunman 2-1. Push back the whiplash and clear the area.
Gunman 2-1. Whiplash, Gunman 2-1. Husky 1-3 is on station. Request further orders.
Okay, Gunman 2-1. Tremendous job out there. But now clear your head and refocus. I'm gonna need you to go again. But first, I want you to return to Bandar, rearm, and then get back out here. I can't afford to have anyone out in the fight right now. This time I'll radio ahead and make sure you get more equipment.
Copy. Gunman 2-1 RTB.
And by the time I get back to Bandar, the sun has really set, so we have a night landing. Not my best landing here. I do come down a bit too heavily on the right-hand gear and cause it to be quite badly damaged. But it is still certainly movable. I do manage to taxi and shut down. All in all, really successful mission. Managed 16 ground kills there. One of which was a civilian car that was marked as hostile, so my only collateral damage there was apparently a hostile civilian car. But not bad for having to fight inside a city there. No actual buildings damaged, so I'll definitely take that. 2 T-72s taken out, a whole bunch of trucks, and that APC at the end was a BTR-80. Really, really fun mission, but unfortunately for my poor pilot, he does not get a break, and he is going to need to turn around and take off once again. And so next time we've got another night mission coming by the look of it. Hope I catch you there for that one, and until then, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.